Welcome back. It's your darling show, Good Morning Abuja, where we discuss everything that pertains you. Now, it is the Nurses Week, our favorite people, right? When you go to the hospital, you are nothing and can do nothing without the assistance of the nurses. So let's take a while and celebrate them. Of course, we have Comrade Deborah Yusuf. She is the chairperson, National Association of Nurses and Midwives, FCT. Welcome on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
And then nurses are worth celebrating. So congratulations again that this year has come and it is the time to celebrate nurses. The celebration actually started from the 12th of May, right? And it's a week-long activity. Okay. So is there a theme for this year?
Yeah, thank you so much. Firstly, let me congratulate all nurses and midwives within and outside Abuja and equally globally for this year's celebration of Nurses Week. The significance of Nurses Week is always celebrated on the 12th of May of every year. And the International Council of Nurses will always come up with a theme.
Okay.
The theme for this year is Our Nurses, Our Future.
Okay.
Why the theme? The International Council of Nurses realized that we have so many global health challenges.
Okay.
And they are looking at how to improve global health for all. So that is why the theme for this year is Our Nurses, Our Future. Yes, it's a long time week. It started from the 12th of May 2023 when there was a flag up internationally being organized by the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives. That is the national headquarters.
Okay.
It was done on the 12th of May. It was just a flag up. So now it's left for any other state or local government or any nurse again to celebrate. Because if we don't celebrate ourselves, people will not celebrate us. It's just like the agama lizard that falls from the iroko tree and knock itself. So we are nodding our heads that we are happy and we are celebrating ourselves. We are saying a big thank you and kudos to ourselves. Thank you.
And then we always take out time to celebrate nurses anyway. Everyone knows the kind of work you do and you know the time spent in that profession. So we appreciate you. All right. So highlight the roles of nurses in a hospital, in caregiving. Just tell us some of your roles.
Thank you so much. Firstly, let me start by saying who is a nurse, because it's very important. Who is a nurse? Who is a midwife? A nurse is a person that undergo a training in an accredited school or college or university and has passed through all the exams and also has been certified by our registration council, that is National and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, and has been given a license to practice as a nurse. The license has to be valued because some people don't even have the license. So I took my time to at least explain who a nurse or midwife is. Without this criteria, you are not a nurse, you are a quack. Now let's go to the role of nurse. The role of nurses, in fact, is unquantifiable. It's very, very unfortunate that nurses are underrated, we are not respected, we are undervalued. But then our role in the hospital. Let's look at the hospital setting, because I've been a bedside nurse more than 20 years. Right from the time I qualified from the School of Nursing, I went through a lot of trainings. The role of nurses, in fact, I'll just mention but a few.
Okay.
One is to promote health, and equally to improve and prevent illnesses, and also to care for a patient, and it has to be holistic and then individualized care. The role of nurses in the hospital, in fact, they are the first. Anytime you step into the hospital, we are just conspicuous. The first person you see once you enter the hospital is a nurse. The first person a newborn baby meets when she or he comes into the world is a midwife, which is a nurse. And equally the last person that you see in the event of death. So the role of nursing is one, as I've said, to promote illness, and also to nurse a patient or client to a full recovery or to maintain good health or to a peaceful death. These are the roles of nurses in the hospital. Working in a hospital, we have to work as a team.
Okay.
Nobody is at loggerhead with anybody, but I qualified as a nurse because I wanted to be a nurse and I chose to be a nurse, so I'm proud to be a nurse. So the role of nurses is very, very specific. Our specific role is solely and mainly and most importantly caring. We care for client or patient from the head to the toe. That is why I mentioned individualized and then holistic care. Another role is that if you say you are going to care for an individual from head to toe, the first thing that will come into your mind is the hair. Yes, we wash patients' hair when you're on bed. We make sure that your ears doesn't have wax. We clean your ears. We clean your eyes if there are tears or some discharges. Come to the nose, to the mouth, you give oral hygiene. And equally, every patient that is in the hospital, because another role of a nurse is that you assist a client or a patient on some things that he or she can do unaided. So that's the duty of a nurse. I'm not even talking about the medication, because a doctor can prescribe, yes, but a nurse has to be there to administer the medication, administer the injection. If not, it will be an exercise in futility. You can prescribe all the drugs in the world. If a nurse is not there to administer, it's an exercise in futility. And then observation and monitoring is very important. Every other health personnel in the hospital depend on the observation and monitoring of a nurse. We check the vital signs of the patient, which is very important. We monitor the state of the condition of that client or patient from admission to discharge. You rely on our documentation, because everything we do, we document as nurses. And then nursing is a kind of noble profession, which is as old as mankind, that everything you do, you must document. Without documentation, even the doctors, the pharmacists, the lab scientists cannot rely on any other information. That is why everything must be documented. Again, on the role of nurses. Sometimes you bring a client in the hospital, a patient, depending on the state of the condition of the patient, and you leave the patient abandoned.
Never be overemphasized. This is just so much.
I can go on and on.
When we keep talking about it, the whole time for this interview will just be on the rules. Your rules are so significant. They're like that of the mother.
Yeah.
In discharging all these rules, are there challenges?
Wow. If you say challenges, the challenges are enormous.
Okay.
But I believe are not unsurmountable. Let me mention the understaffing.
Okay.
In fact, we choke. If you go to any facility today, you can visit any facility, even though it's global, we are grossly inadequate. A nurse attends to over 20 to 22 patients on a shift. And you can imagine what a nurse does in the morning. And it's only the nurse that stays in the hospital 24/7. Others will go and come, but nurses are there permanently, 24/7. Challenges, understaffing. According to the World Health Organization, is one nurse to 4 clients or patients
a day.
What we are having, no, per shift.
Per shift.
Okay. One shift. What we are having today is that the last time I checked is a nurse to run over 1,170 something patients. It's quite alarming.
It is.
And equally with the Jackman syndrome, most of the challenges are the push and pull. Our nurses are living the source of Nigeria. And let me even tell you, our nurses are the best anywhere in the world, because wherever they are being respected, they are being valued. So understaffing is one of the most things that we're really into. So we are appealing to the government to have a retention plan to recruit more nurses. We have nurses going up and down looking for employment.
Okay.
Another challenge is the remuneration. If you want us to stay in Nigeria and work, yes, Nigeria is our country, we love Nigeria, I'm proud to be a Nigerian. But then, let the government do the needful. Our scheme of service has been approved, but up to this moment has not been gazetted. You know what it means? Then again, the issue of shift duty allowance has never been reviewed since inception, over 20 years. We've been calling on the government, please can you review our shift duty allowance? It has not been done. Call duty allowance, don't forget, nurses are even found in the theater, they run course. We have about 3 sets of nurses in the theater, they run course. Their call duty allowance to be reviewed, it has not been reviewed. Then uniform allowance is as concerned as the Northern Star. 20,000 naira for crying out loud. How many sets of white uniform can 20,000 so as of today? You can say a yes those days, but a capital A no these days. Review our uniform allowance. It's already in the civil service room. It has not been reviewed. Again, hazard allowance. You know, the last time I also checked, the more you are in a patient zone, the more susceptible you are to infection. Nurses are there 24/7. I can say that without missing of words. We are the closest to the patients. If you are to check a patient blood pressure, you can't stand afar.
From a distance.
Exactly. And I want to say that really some people appreciated nurses during the pandemic. Why? Because putting on a face mask for 5-10 minutes, they got suffocated. That is to tell you how nurses are. We have to be on that face mask throughout our shift. The hazard allowance has been reviewed, but we don't really know the criteria that was used. Even on that, some teaching hospitals have given our nurses with arrears. I want to say a very big thank you to those hospitals. I want to equally say a very big thank you to the Minister of FCT, Mohamed Musa Bello. He equally gave us the hazard allowance and equally some arrears. But others across the country are yet to even give the hazard allowance. And the consequential minimum wage adjustment, some have not gotten. So as we are talking now, we are not individualizing it because we are talking nationally now. I'm not specific about FCT where I work. So in fact, our issues are enormous. I'm calling on the incoming president, especially the president-elect, Bola Tinubu, to look at nurses. Understand with us. But the last and most important one is the review of our consolidated salary structure.
Okay.
We've been asking for I think we deserve a consolidated, because we are unique, that's the truth, we are unique. We want a consolidated nurses salary scale for our nurses. Among other things. Once you give us that, I think we are home and dry. And lastly, but most importantly, you know, you see nursing as people don't really appreciate us. Why? Because of 1 or 2 encounter with nurses in the hospital or midwives. I'm not taking brief for anybody. But you see, once you are under stress, you can imagine you be in the hospital for 8 hours. You can't even have time to go and eat. To drink water is a problem because you can't just abandon a client or a patient that is on blood or just came out of the theater. You have to be there. You can imagine the stress. We are human beings. And I always say it. Anywhere you are, you have bad eggs. Nurses are not angels. But we are compassionate. Yes, we are compassionate. So please, the public should love the nurses because we love and care for everybody.
Thank you so much, Comrade Deborah Yusuf, for coming on this program. And you kept talking about how people do not appreciate nurses. I beg to differ. I think we appreciate the efforts of nurses. People really appreciate it. It's just that, you know, there's always a little friction between patients and nurses. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
All right. So we are celebrating nurses, and it's a week-long celebration. And Comrade Deborah Yusuf, the chairperson, National Association of Nurses and Midwives, FCT, is in our studio, and we had an extensive discussion with her. Now, Good Morning Abuja continues after this time out. Stay with us.